Okay, well, coming again from the floor of the Global Energy Show here in Calgary, and I'm joined by Scot Johnson of Digital Shovel. It's not all just oil, gas, machines, equipment, things like that. There's other people in attendance, other presenters, and as far as energy goes, I mean, it's something quite unique and new that you guys are working on, which is, I guess, digital currency mining. Can you explain how that ties into an energy show?
Yeah, we like to refer to it as a digital pipeline. And the reality is it's not super new. I mean, some of our earlier customers in 2018 were doing that, where you've got stranded gas or associated gas that is not worth compressing and trucking or running a pipe in a gathering system, but you still want to generate some revenue off of it. Marrying that with a Bitcoin mining farm, generating power on site, and then basically digitally converting that natural gas right into money on site is a great way to capitalize on what would otherwise be a liability.
Yeah, so I mean, mining digital currency, some people might not necessarily understand that, but it basically takes some really heavy-duty computing power. It's energy intensive, and one of the things people, I guess, have been critical of is that you can draw energy from the grid where other people need it. But when you're talking about isolated gas deposits that you're using, this is energy that wouldn't have been utilized otherwise anyways. They're stranded deposits.
Yeah, I mean, two important points that you touched on there. One, when we got into the industry, there were clients that had generators and just hooked them up to load banks. They were just heating the outdoors. So they were just doing that to deal with the natural gas so that they could take the oil because they weren't able to flare for a prolonged period of time. And it was a no-brainer for them. They already had the generator there and they were just burning the heat into the night sky. On the grid side of it, though, it's a common misconception. Like when it first started, we just ran 100% of the time, all the time. Now what happens is most Bitcoin miners are curtailing loads. So they're consuming power when there's idle capacity, but then when the peak comes up and everybody's AC's on or industry's using a lot of gas, Bitcoin miners will turn off and they don't have that impact. In fact, in many regions, they've actually helped to lower power prices by utilizing that underutilized capacity, which brings down the price for consumers as a whole.
Okay, so I mean, we're more of a demand power with gas and so on, but I mean, in hydro areas and things like that, then using those other capacity times is just a more efficient use of the generation. But you talk about containerized, and so this is kind of a portable ability to mine as well. Like these operations can be set up in different areas and moved. Yeah,
they're completely modular. The solution, we started with big 40-foot shipping containers. We now make a modular unit that'll actually fit inside of a shipping container or can fit on the back of a flatbed truck. You can move them around with a 5,000-pound forklift or a skid steer. They don't require any foundation. Same way you would set down a portable generator or a pump jack or something like that. You can put this down right at a wellhead, take the natural gas, convert, and if for whatever reason it doesn't make sense at that site any longer, you can pick up and move it to another one. It's not like a permanent data center that's an immovable object.
Okay, and so this isn't just conceptual. You guys are already in operation. Is this happening in Alberta right now? Or?
Yeah, we have approximately 50 units in Alberta. We have approximately 1,500 units across North America. There's other producers. There's some homegrown solutions, people that do this as well. So there's pretty wide adoption of this in Alberta. So
is this in partnership with the energy producers, or is it just kind of a matter of leasing space or power or that sort of thing? How integrated are you with the welling?
It's a combination. Most of our clients actually just buy the equipment from us and then we'll go and operate. Some of them will be a broker. They might go partner with a midstream, or they're going to go and partner with somebody that's actual just the owner at the wellhead and do it there. So it's a variety of different relationships depending on what the business plan was for that operator.
Yeah, and I mean, I just remember as a young guy in the oil field, there was nothing more wasteful to see than go out in the night back then when flaring was so common. You're just taking gas and burning it off. I mean, to capture that and make use of it with something like that. And does this apply to a number of different digital currencies, or is it just one?
You can mine any digital currency you want that is mineable. However, most people just want to stick with Bitcoin. I mean, you can't mine Ethereum anymore. There are a variety of altcoins, but then, I mean, you're already speculative being a little bit in oil and gas. You don't need to add that extra level of speculation. Bitcoin mining, it's not stable, but it's dramatically more stable than the altcoins or the other cryptocurrencies that are on the market.
So what kind of response have you found now? You know, it's been a day and a half at the show, talking with some of the producers and other local operators. They're embracing this further?
Yeah, the response has been solid. There's been a lot of education around it because there's a lot of people, that don't understand the simplicity of Bitcoin mining and think it's this overly complicated thing, when the reality is You plug the servers in, you enter a couple configuration details, and they just run. They do their thing. And then there's some people that are trying to understand what the use case was of the equipment, and then others that have looked at our solution that, frankly, have tried to do it themselves and have realized it's pretty complicated to build a modular data center that you can just drop in the field and go, and really took a liking to the offering that we have.
Great. Well, that kind of is it in a nutshell. Where can people find more information about this if they're looking to get involved? Like, is this scalable for a smaller operation, or is it typically larger groups?
Yeah, that's one of the big benefits of our solution. We go down as small as 100 kilowatts, which is relatively small wellhead, and you can run the unit at half capacity, and then we can go all the way up to we built 100 megawatt sites, which are and they scale in modular blocks, which is nice in the sense that the wellheads aren't always going to produce the same amount of gas. So you might go and put 1 megawatt worth of units there, but in 6-9 months it's producing different. Well, you can take a module off and go put that in another site. You don't have to take that entire unit. All of our stuff's at digitalshovel.com, and pretty much any social media is digital_shovel.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you explaining that to us. I just love hearing some of the newer innovative things that are coming out at these shows too. It's not the old days of just talking about pump jacks and derricks. There's much more to it.
Well, it's margins are that much more thin. You got to look for every possible way to capitalize on a market, and especially in something as competitive as it is right now.
Oh, without doubt. Well, thank you very much again for coming to talk to us, and I hope the rest of the show goes well for you.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Great. Thank you. All right. Hey, it really does sound cool.